Hey guys, welcome to another episode about FPGA, Verilog and Tang Nano 9K development board. Today we are going to continue our story about 40 pins LCD display, and in today's episode we are going to do text. So good chunk of my code is going to be reused from previous episodes, so if you've been following this Miri series, you know very well what is this. So we have this counter constraint. In here we have all of pins defined. Now in top module we have our input and output pins. We are passing main clock to LCD clock, which is far from the best option, but it works. Now we are defining coordinates for pixel, both X and Y. Now we are checking the position of pixel, and we are iterating through this entire screen. And by the way, my screen is 480 by 272, and in here we have 800 by 525, and that is characteristic of LCD display. We are dealing both with full coordinates and with visible screen coordinates, and for that reason we have horizontal and vertical synchronization. Therefore, we are getting these variables, px and py. This is real position of our pixel on visible screen. And with wire visible, we are checking whether that pixel is on visible screen. Now, with these three lines, we are creating a visible D variable, and on every clock we are passing value from visible to visD. Now, in here we are going to do all of code, and this is also code from our previous episode. Pixel D is actual color of that pixel, and we are going to pass color to pixel D on every clock. Now we are spreading those values, 5 bits for red, 6 bits for green, and 5 bits for blue. And at the end we are assigning enable pin, horizontal synchronization and vertical synchronization. Now, what we are going to do in here. And I already told you that today we are going to deal with text. We are going to draw text to the screen. And not only text, we are going to implement blurring. So first few words about blurring. People are often confused in between anti-aliasing and blurring. What is one and what is the another? In both cases, idea is to get more natural shapes, to remove pointy corners. But with these two techniques, we are going to solve that problem in two completely different ways. For example, in case of anti-aliasing, we are going to add or to remove pixels to and from pointy corners in order to achieve our goal. With blurring, we are actually going to create some kind of gradient passage in border area. In that way, we are going to minimize the contrast between two zones, and therefore it's going to look like that corner is not too pointy anymore. Now, in this episode, I'm going to create only basic example of how that is going to look like, so you can think about it and work around it. This is far from the finished product. Now, first thing that we are going to do for this episode is dealing with scaling. You have to know that I'm going to create very simplified pixelized font where every letter is going to be 7 pixels tall and 5 pixels wide, with 1 pixel in between the letters. So what I'm saying, width is going to be 6, 5 plus 1, and height is going to be 7 pixels. But now, what this scale means? Scale means that we are going to create 4 times bigger letter. For that reason, final height is going to be 28 pixels. And what is this 72? I intend to write K on my screen, so we are going to deal with 3 letters. So basic width of this text is going to be 3 times 6. That means 18 pixels. But 4 times bigger, it's 4 times 18, therefore 72 pixels. Now, what with text X and text Y? In here we are looking for center of the screen. With these two variables we are looking for starting position for our text. And because I want this text to be in the middle of the screen, we are getting 480, that is screen width, minus text width divided by 2. In regards of height, that is 272, that is height of my screen, minus text height divided by 2. With Lx and Ly, we are calculating coordinates within text itself. And of course, with inside text, you can call it Boolean value. We are checking whether some pixel is within our text or not. Okay, let's continue. Need more empty spaces. Now, in here we are dealing with upscale coordinates. First of all, what this line means that tx, it's lx divided by 4. What is ty? Ty, it's ly divided by 4. And why are we dividing by 4? Because our scale factor is 4. One font pixel, it's actually 4 by 4 screen pixels. With char x, we are defining where in the letter we are. So in here we are dealing with pixels within the letter itself. And why 6? Because every letter is a 6 pixels wide. By the way, if you don't know, this symbol actually means modulo. We are getting remainder of number 6 in here. And with char id, when we divide tx by 6, we are actually going to get index of letter that we are dealing with. And with char y, or better to say char y, it's row within the letter. And now, follow me. We are going to create one function. Okay, we are getting everything. I'm going to call it font lookup. Input of 2 bits. So in this way we are making function in Verilog. And what are these two values? These three input values. These are values that our function is going to receive. And now I'm going to deal with functionality. Okay, don't be scared with this. This is case loop in Verilog. So in here we are checking value for CID, but then we are creating another case loop within it where we are checking value for CY. Because in here we are dealing with rows. As I said, we have 7 rows. And what this actually means, this is first row, second row, up to 7th row. And this is for letter H. We have to write letter H at the end with this code. But what is this actually? Let me try to depict this. For example, as I said, we have 5 columns. In order to represent letter H, we need all of values on the left side. So let's say, I'm going to write it like this. X, second, third, fourth, fifth. No, sorry, I'm going to correct this. So it's 5, 6, and 7. As you can see in here, if Cx is 0, it's going to return 1 in all of cases. What means Cx receives value of 4? That means that all 5 pixels are on. In first line, that if Cx is 0 or 4, we are going to have 1 for font lookup. But in this case, on line number 3, we are going to have a 1 anyway. So what this actually means, how this is going to look? It's going to look like this. In whatever situation with letter H, we are always going to get on value. But not in here, not in any other case. In any other case, what is going to happen? On position 0, we are going to have value 1. On position 1, we are not going to have value. On position 2, we are not going to have value. On position 3, we are not going to have value. But we are going to have value on position 4. Same in all of cases. In this way, we are going to get our letter H. Okay, let me show you how we are going to get other letters. First, I have to index everything properly. And now, with E, I want all of values. So I'm going to pass 4 to CX. I'm going to pass 0 to CX in line number 1. Also in line number 2. That middle line in letter E is going to be a little bit shorter, so I'm going to pass 3. I'm going to pass 4 to the last line. And on these 2 lines, we are going to get only left pixel full. Okay, this is for letter E. And let's see for letter Y. This is fine. First and fifth pixel with second row also. Now we are going to narrow that a little bit, like CX with index of 1 and 3. And now to all of rest I'm going to pass number 2, because this is going to be a middle line. Alright, now before AND case and after last AND we are going to set default value for font lookup 0, means turn off. I hope that this is clear, but you are always going to be able to check code on my GitHub page, so don't worry about that part. Now we are going to call this function for next value, font pixel, inside text, and font lookup. We are going to pass char ID, char X, and char Y. If you remember, this function needs these 3 values. And we are returning value of font lookup. So basically what this line means that if coordinates are within text area and that particular pixel belongs to some letter, we are going to return positive value. And now our blurring part. Make some more space. Alright. Brief explanation of this code. Let me check it. All right. So what is important for this to know? We are dealing with value AA pixel. AA stands for anti-aliasing, but this is actually blurring, so don't worry about this part. First, we have to check whether this pixel that we are dealing with must not be part of font. So we are not dealing with font in here, but must be somewhere around the font, directly connected. So with left N, we are looking for pixel that is left side from font pixel. With right N, we are looking for pixel that is right side from the M pixel, meaning from the font pixel, or up from it or down from it, which literally means anywhere around but not font pixel. That kind of pixel is going to be considered AA pixel, so we are going to color it in some other color in order to blur borders a little bit. And finally we are going to deal with colors. So we are creating our color variable and we are setting value according to pixel position. So our background color is going to be bluish, anti-aliasing pixel or blurring pixel is going to be like gray or something, and this font pixel is going to be white. Okay, I'm going to save all of this. Okay, I have some typos. All right, let's correct this. I believe that I don't have any more typos. We are going to see it in a moment. Okay, everything is saved and I'm going to build and upload this code. Okay, I have a problem because only letter Y appears. Whoa, I created a mess in here. Okay. Now it should be fine. Okay, case ID. End case. We have 3 different cases, 0, 1, and 2, and default value. Now, within every of these cases, we have 7 different cases for 7 different lines. This is all fine now. All right, I'm going to upload this code once again, build and program. Okay, everything is in its proper place. Let me show you. The light in my room is a little bit problematic, but you can see that code works quite well. And as I usually say, thank you for watching and see you next episode.